Parents, are you feeling the weight of everyday parenting challenges, especially with all the new dynamics that have been poured on you since around 2020? Trust me, you are not alone. Join me today as I welcome my partner in life, as well as a partner in a brand new project, Mike Dicks. Today, we will be diving into a mission that we have created with a new organization called United Parenting Coalition, an organization dedicated to leveling up parents with knowledge, resources, and tools. Discover how UPC is working to empower parents with its valuable resources and why strong families are vital in today's times. Learn about upcoming events, the role of faith, and how you can get involved. Get ready to be uplifted and inspired on your parenting journey. Hi, I'm Jenna Dicks, and I'm always rambling. Just ask my husband. I have a great family and a pretty cool life, but I'm a recovered alcoholic. That's hard to say, but my goal is to inspire and educate to help others hopefully find life beyond an addiction. I'm all things: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Getting healthy, momming, and politics. Get offended easily? You better stop listening. There is no point in wasting that Botox by stressing yourself out listening to a podcast. Welcome to Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dicks. Today's episode brought to you by products and services I'm thoroughly addicted to. Are you a dedicated listener of Ramblings of an Addict? Then this is the space you absolutely need to join. Introducing the Grit and Grace Rambling Collective, a community designed specifically for fans of the podcast. We understand your passion for personal growth, empowerment, and faith in Jesus, and we are here to take it to the next level. Join our collective of like-minded individuals who are ready to dive deeper into the topics we discuss on the show, from personal transformation to engaging with societal issues. We provide support, coaching, and guidance that you'll need to make that positive impact. Together, let's continue the conversation, share insights, and inspire each other to live a life filled with grit, grace, and a whole lot of love. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect with fellow listeners, amplify your journey of growth, and be part of a community that values the power of personal and collective well-being. Join the Grit and Grace Rambling Collective today, and let's create a space where we can thrive together. Check gritgraceglow.com for more information, and you can easily find that link right in the show notes below. Welcome to today's episode. I am so glad to have you here. Make sure if you have yet to subscribe or follow the podcast on whatever streaming service you're using, make sure to do that. That way it takes the thinking out. It automatically downloads every time I pump out a new episode. This is an episode, friends, that I guarantee you are going to want to share with all your parenting friends. Because today we're going to be talking about something new and exciting that every parent is going to need to know about. So today, I'm super excited because I have, as I said, not only my partner in life, but a partner in a brand new project that we just dove into, my husband, Mike Dicks. So I want to thank you so much, honey, for being here with me today. And I'm excited to chat a little bit about what we've been working on.
Awesome. Yeah. And thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first time on the show. So excited to be here.
Do you really listen to all of them?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
I'm a couple behind right now, but yeah, I do listen to them.
How many is a couple?
A couple.
Like two?
Maybe a few.
Okay.
I got some catching up to do.
Truth be told, I know he does listen, because we got in his car one day and all of a sudden I heard my own voice and it was kind of weird. Oh. All right. So today, as I said in the intro, since 2020, life has been hard, I think, for everybody since 2020. It's just been different, right? But parents specifically, and I can say this confidently because I am a parent. Mike is a parent. Since 2020, it's just been a whole new struggle. We have the normal everyday parenting issues that parents have had since the beginning of time, right? And since 2020, it's like they have poured on some new issues that some of us didn't ever even think about being possible as parenting issues. So, since 2020, and for those of you that have followed me on the show, you know, right? I was, up until about 2020, I was your normal American girl, didn't really care much about politics. At that time, I just, I had my boyfriend / fiance. Yeah. Because yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. My fiance at the time, we had the girls, it was, we were just busy lifing. And you kind of dabbled paying attention to current events, politics, that kind of stuff. You were more in the know than I was.
Yeah, I use a lot of downtime at work to do some research, good old MSN and the other news sites that I would frequently look at during my downtime. But, I try to stay a little bit more on top of those items at that time.
Yeah, you were the one, if I had questions, I'd go to for the most part at that point.
Right.
But 2020 hit, and I think you started paying a little bit more attention, even on your own, because COVID hit. You were now at home. The news was on pretty much 24/7, it seemed like, that spring, just because of COVID. And at that time, we had a newborn baby, and I've said that on the show, right? We followed, the COVID protocol because we were terrified, because we did not want this brand new little baby to wind up with this weird disease, sickness thing that everyone is pumping up and making a big hysterical disaster about. So we had the news on for that, and then the riots hit, and it's just through time, I think we both just really dove in and learned a lot.
Yeah.
And then your wife went crazy and really learned a ton, right?
I wouldn't say crazy.
I wouldn't say that either if I was you. So it was right around late 2020, 2021-ish, that's when I took my first big leaps. Okay, not only am I going to just be somebody in the know, paying more attention, but what can we do? And you can go back, previous episodes, follow my political journey, all that funsies stuff, right? But end of the day, the whole reason we did this was because of the girls.
Right.
And we've said that. We wouldn't be in the know. We wouldn't have done a lot of the things we've done over these last couple years if it was just him and I. We would just be living our lives, doing our thing, making money, traveling, all that good jazz. But we had the girls. So we knew we had extra responsibility that we needed to care for. And throughout 2020, up until this point, not only getting more politically active, getting more knowledgeable on current events, diving into all the resources of how we can raise our family the best we can through these times, but also really finding our footsteps in our faith journey. 2020 was when I started dabbling, trying to really find a church that could be our family home church, a church that jived with all of us. It took a while.
A long time.
Yeah. But we found it. We found our space, and we now are incredibly happy with the church we found. But so now you've got this husband-wife duo who are political current event nerds who love God, find our confidence as much as we can, right? We're still humans through our Lord. And we've come to a space where, number one, I think reality hits that not everybody is going to be like us. Not everybody is going to be nerds that has a wife who will sit and jam out to podcasts for hours, or a husband that likes and enjoys sitting down and reading news, right? Researching. Oh my goodness, you are my researcher. Anytime I need to buy something, hey honey, I need you to research new phones. He hates iPhones. the droid guy, which is our family battle.
Yes.
But when it comes time to, I need a new iPhone, it's not me doing the research, even though he doesn't like iPhones. It's still him doing the research because that's his thing. So, anywho, we understand not all families and parents have the time, have the bandwidth, have the interest of spending hours upon hours doing research to find the best next steps for their family, whether it be faith, knowing what's going on in politics, essentially, right? Knowing how to navigate the lives we're living right now, which, saying it bluntly, are messy and difficult. And we're facing a lot of things that we never thought we'd face.
100%.
So, with that being said, we are incredibly proud and honored to announce the fact that last week, I think 2 days ago at this point.
Thursday,
yeah. So 2 days ago, we officially launched the United Parenting Coalition, or UPC, as we've been calling it around here. So UPC, the whole purpose is to really help level up parents with knowledge, resources, and the tools that they're going to need to confidently lead their families while advocating for their beliefs and what's important to them. You know, we founded this organization with a deep understanding that there's a lot of challenges that come with the title of parent, along with a lot of joys. And with this organization, our whole mission is to just really make sure that we are committed to equipping parents for that journey. We have really come to the point where we understand through our faith, through watching society, that strong families are the bedrock of a solid society. And we feel incredibly called to dedicating our time to equipping parents with the guidance and the insights that they're going to need to navigate the ever-changing space of parenting, right? Because it's never going to be the same. Right now is completely different than it was 5 years ago. It could definitely continue to change, and we want to make sure that we're equipping parents no matter what that space looks like. So, making sure that we are getting parents the education they need, and really just making sure we are providing them a platform that they deserve. A space where they can learn to be their best parenting self, all while honoring their values, their beliefs, and their faith. So that was a long, roundabout way, right? All while even in the studio, you can still hear our proof that we are parents in the background, I'm sure. Because even when you got somebody watching her, she still wants mom and dad. Because at the end of the day, we know mom and dad are important. So the organization, United Parenting Coalition, founded by Mike and myself. We are not only founders, but we are sitting on the board because how we set it up, right? So this is going to be a brand new government paperwork accepted. We got it all. Nonprofit. So Mike and I are sitting on the board. Mike is the president of United Parenting Coalition. So he'll be out there being the voice. Today I get to talk a little bit more because this is my podcast.
That's right. It's here for the ride.
Today, yep. But like you said, first time on the show, so you're just learning the ropes. You'll be on here more maybe in the future.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's been this long, to be honest.
I've been busy. I've had shows to do, man.
See how it is.
But anyway, so Mike is the president, so he will be the one out there in the front doing the speaking for the most part. Truth be told, reason being, because Mike is the leader of my family, of our family. And end of the day, if we are on it together, we founded this together, I want to make sure then that we are showing that solid family framework as the front of the organization as well. So we are incredibly honored to also have 2 other individuals sitting with us on the board so far. We have 2 women we're incredibly blessed by, Kim Wilson and Jamie Kakaisel. And y'all are sitting there thinking, wait a minute, those names sound familiar. They should, because they both have been on this show in the past. Kim Wilson, she is an amazing homeschool mom. Oh, she is an amazing resource for anyone thinking about heading into homeschool territory. So Kim is sitting on our board, as well as Jamie Kakaisel, who Jamie was just on a recent show because she is a busy woman. She is actually running for school board because that is how important making sure our kids and families have the resources they need. That's how important it is to Jamie. So she was a no-brainer for our board. All right, I've talked a lot. Anything to add so far from you, mister, before I jump into some questions? Because here, we're going to jump into the fun part in a second and start questioning him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think I have anything to add before that because I feel I'll be talking plenty with these questions and in covering most of that information at that time. So maybe if you want to give me a little blurb at the end if we need to. I don't know that we will, but we could have that possibility.
For sure.
After the questions.
Awesome. Okay, so now with kind of the foundation explained, you now have a little picture of what United Parenting Coalition is all about. We're going to jump in here, and now I can shut my voice off a little bit. So, Mike, can you share a little bit of the inspiration behind starting the United Parenting Coalition and kind of ideally focusing on what specific challenges in parenting and advocating for our girls really fueled you to do this and how you could utilize that to help other families?
Certainly, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different things that have gone into this. As you had mentioned earlier, a lot of research, which, like you said, a lot of parents don't have time for between work and running kids to sports and school and all the other activities, family events. It's really hard to find the time to do the research that you would need to do to find these different items in different areas, such as, faith, education, healthcare, all these other topics that we're covering on the UPC. So at least we are able to kind of take care of that for you, relieve that pressure so you can spend more time with your family.
Right.
And just there's so much going on in the world, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of one-sided information that's being given. So this is more of an area for really faith-based and also, at least moderately conservative people to find how they can navigate life with their family in a world that's really pushing things in the other direction.
Absolutely. And I love that because you nailed it. Parents are busy. And I hear you. And not everyone has a wife that's
crazy.
Yeah. You said you weren't going to say that.
I know, I couldn't help it.
But truth be told, I have the personality type that just goes. So even though I have a bajillion other things and I just want to sit down and watch TV, I don't, because, I need to go research XYZ and I need to go do this. And other parents, there's times I look and I'm like, goodness, I wish I could, go and just chill and sit and eat pizza and watch TV tonight, 4 or 5 times a night with my family, which there's nothing wrong with that. And parents and families need to do that. God didn't build me and now my family for that. So you know what? Let's give those families who have other tools and other gifts and other skill sets the space to grab this knowledge from us so that they can use their gifts for what they're good at and then still have time for their families, right? Because me and you have the gift right now to be able to dive in and share knowledge with families. We don't have gifts of, I can't think of anything right now, but maybe there's a parent out there that's a fabulous lawyer. We don't have that skill set. We want to give that parent that space to be a good lawyer, but also still have this knowledge and still have time for their family.
Right.
Hell yeah. Okay, so it's all about getting people what they need in a way that they can still live their lives and have time for their kiddos. Which, end of the day, parenting coalition. Your kiddos are the top-notch priority anyway. So moving into our next question here. How does the United Parenting Coalition aim to empower and equip parents on their journeys?
Certainly, yeah. I mean, I think the easiest and most accessible option right away is definitely going to be the website. It will be geared towards, individual. We're going to start here in Minnesota. That's where we are. We also will have some resources that we know about that are nationwide currently, with the aim to build that out through different branches, different states, and eventually be able to help everyone across the nation. Just with the website, we plan on, doing some podcasts, some seminars, workshops, that sort of thing. But the ultimate goal, which actually this is all stemmed from, would be to have a convention. And for you, those of you kind of wondering what that would look like, think of, the wedding fair, the home and garden show, something along those lines. Where you have a big convention, you have all these people that would be our allies, which our allies are going to be people, usually other nonprofits and other organizations that have our same values and are working towards the same goal that we are. And we are bringing those allies into one place. So not only on the website, the goal would be to do it at a convention. You have a booth, and sections, for education, and there's, homeschool options, there's private school options, like things of that nature at the convention, so that everything is housed in one place. You could go spend a few hours to really learn about all the different branches, and how to really take care of your family in the way that you really want to.
Awesome. Absolutely. And it's funny because as you're talking, like the responses I want to say are a little different than when I'm doing a regular interview, because I'm very much in the know, obviously, right? So the format of this is, we're starting small because we're all Minnesota based, but the big picture is like, let's get these resources to parents everywhere. They are in desperate need of being equipped, because right now, yeah, we can find it. It's all out there somewhere, right? But do we have the time to dig in? So, and I haven't even told you this because I actually just got back from an event this morning that I had actually speaking as a mom coming from the public school system. So, and I was talking a little bit about this, and I said the best way to kind of envision UPC is think of like Public Square, that new app, right? Yep. That has all those different aligned businesses. But it's for parents only. So everything within the UPC is an organization or a nonprofit, like he said, typically, that is a resource for parents in some way, shape, or form. And those are our allies. So you have different allies or resources, 100% geared for families, 100% aligned with the values and the beliefs that we hold true to our hearts and what we are really focusing on. And then eventually, bringing them all in to a convention. So, my big thing that him and I have been talking about is like, wedding fairs are really cool. Like, it's a really cool experience. Why the hell isn't there something like that where parents can walk in? It's this big space with all these booths of resources that are 100% for you as mom and dad. Maybe even a coffee stand, because come on, let's be real. Yep. Right?
So we can be taking in a lot of information at these conventions. You're going to have to make sure that you're well caffeinated and know what's going on.
Absolutely. But having all these things not only online, but having them in the physical as well, because I think there's just another level. When you walk into a physical space, you get to hold a business card or hold a pamphlet or actually shake somebody's hand. We are all about those connections to make sure parents are getting what they need so they can walk away and feel like, you know what? I'm going to fail in some way, shape, or form, let's be real. But I'm doing my damnedest. And this resource is here to help me do that. So, you kind of led right into my next kind of question here. So you were talking a little bit about the allies. So with the allies, tell me a little bit about what some of the key resources and tools are that you're going to have that people can access.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the, kind of the big picture areas and values that we are pushing, I shouldn't say pushing, but interested in. So you look at, education, healthcare, safety, finance, law, of course, faith, which is a big one for us, and also government. So with these, having different allies that meet our values and goals in each of these areas so that they're presented, you can click on their websites, they'll have a little bio about them so you can learn a little bit more about them even before, diving a little bit deeper, just to make sure ahead of time that it is going to be the right fit of what you're looking for in meeting your needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all of our allies, right, are going to fall within one of those categories. And I won't even lie, we're working on a miscellaneous category because we have some really, really cool resources for families out there, but they don't necessarily fit into one of these topics. But these topic areas are what him and I are like, these are what parents are looking for. So resources within education. And like you said, whether it be, private school, charter school, homeschool, public school, because there's all those options and we want to make sure parents are getting them. And they're educated and they know about them. Healthcare.
I think healthcare is another huge one, just up there with education.
Yeah.
There's different groups that are advocating for, different family health items. Mm-hmm. There's different options for healthcare out there, outside of, the normal, traditional, even, you look at the Alinas and Health East. I mean, there's other options out there like the New Kingdom.
Yeah.
And also just other ways of other insurance out there available and other doctors available that might not be in a regular network.
Yep, exactly. You're probably listening and you're like, oh, I just didn't necessarily think about that, right? So education, healthcare, safety, public safety. Oh my goodness. We need all the safety info we can get right now. Finance, especially in a society right now where there's some different finance options out there that if they find out your beliefs, all of a sudden, your money's held up or there's different, snafus that you run into. Law, so different legal services. Faith, right? The root of it all. And then government. So making sure that people are educated on policy and educated on, what's coming down the pipeline, candidates, things of that sort. All right, so our next question. Why do you feel, Mike, that families need to be strong in today's times? And how do you feel that UPC is going to contribute to building stronger families? But in addition to that, diving a little bit deeper, because you are a dad, clearly, right? Why do you feel dads need to be a vital part of this movement right now, in addition to the very strong mama bears kind of already on this track?
Yeah, I think just kind of what I touched on a little bit earlier too, just in the way the world is changing right now, and with everything that is pushing traditional values and beliefs kind of to the wayside, you're kind of seeing how that's really impacting not only the world, but I mean families as well. Mm-hmm. So I think to be strong, you definitely need the resources to be educated and to feel confident in making decisions to build your family within, a society that's really pushing everything in the other direction, in away from God. Mm-hmm. As far as, dads being involved, I feel it's extremely important because just in studies have shown that, fathers that really lead in faith and really push for faith in their household that the family is actually going to follow that more so than if just the mom is pushing it. Mm-hmm. As the leader of the household, the dad should be really pushing for these decisions. And I know a lot of times, dads are busy working, or they're, coaching their kids in sports, or they have a lot of stuff on their plate as well. And maybe they don't really necessarily take the time. They just kind of think, you know what, it'll be fine. But at the same time, it's really not. We're really starting to lose that traditional family. And you see the moms that are definitely fed up just because, I think it holds true that, carrying the child.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like they do have, a little bit, more to lose, I guess you could say.
Right. Okay.
Than the dad. But I know as a dad for myself, this is why I'm getting involved, is just I want a better life for my kids. And I want it to be a life of faith and having good morals and
opportunities.
You look at just even some of the way that the public schools are going right now and some of the things they're letting the kids do, and it's pushing them away from the normal. And I think that was probably one of my biggest reasons for wanting to really make a push myself as a dad.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you nailed it. Truth be told, I guess I didn't. It sounds stupid. I never thought of it that way. Because I've just been, since day one, very strong. Obviously for McKenna, right? And I am for Haley too. I've told her, I will go to the mat for you, kid. And I will. But, and those of you that follow me and know, Haley is my bonus daughter. So I didn't grow her. I didn't birth her. And from that moment, I found out I was pregnant with Mac. Things just shifted. And when I actually got to feel her and hold her and kiss her, gracious, it's truly it sounds corny when I say it, but I truly do believe she is a gift from God to me. He trusted me with her. But just because I grew her, I birthed her, she's still 50% yours. Haley's still 50% yours.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why that hit me really hard, and I knew duh, yeah, I'm a mama bear. I'm strong, hardcore. Wow. It's not often that words are taken from me,
especially with me.
I know.
To be honest with that.
But no, I love the fact too that you're, I agree. Dad should lead the family, even though there's moments where I'm like, oh, I really just want to lead right now because that's my personality. But at the same time, that also is why I was drawn to you, because I saw that you were a bold and strong dad. You stood up for, because, when I met Mike, he had an 8-year-old, and it was really cool to see how bold and strong of a dad he was. He was not super passive. He made sure she was getting what she needed and she was taken care of, and not just a roof over your head, here's food on the table, but solid dad. And that is what we need.
I agree. And thank you for saying that.
All right. So, next question. Moving on from that sappy moment. Collaboration, I think, is key in any mission. Can you explain how you envision parents working together and supporting each other through the UPC platform?
Yeah, I think this is going to come in, different areas as well. So, as we're still working on the website, getting that up and running. But I think one detail we want to put on to emphasize on the website is, getting some discussion forums, some chat forums available on there so that people can connect, and maybe don't have a lot of time to sit down and, sit on a phone call or, really go get far away from just, typing out a couple sentences on a computer just to somebody to, get their thoughts or offer them advice to maybe what they have going on and what they're battling currently. I think that's going to be the quickest, easiest, just to kind of get things started. But I think long term is definitely, I think the conventions are going to be a huge asset in that arena. You know, being able to get to meet face to face with other like-minded people, you know, and because that might be a hard part of it for a lot of people right now with the areas that we've kind of been involved in with politics and, you know, in church, especially, we've met a lot of people that are more like-minded that we can have these conversations with. But with the way the world is changing and people are being divided, it might be a lot harder for you to really have those conversations. You know, whether it be family, neighbors, friends that in the past, you know, you've kind of felt like you're on the same page, and as of recent, it's maybe not that way anymore. So I think, you know, just any way we can get people together, whether it be on a discussion group online or in person, at the convention or any other type of workshops or events, you know, that are going on in the community that we can, you know, put out for people to see and, you know, attend.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point, that it's hard to have collaboration if you think you're the only one that thinks like you.
Right. And some people are scared to even bring that up anymore. Yeah,
no kidding. So, I mean, UPC essentially is a light in the darkness for some people that think, I am the only wackadoodle that thinks this way or wants these resources. No, you're not. And even though you may only be the only one on your block or the only one in your neighborhood, there are still plenty of people out there, like, in making sure we're collaborating, whether it be, like you said, at those conventions, or maybe it's somebody who's in an area that's, you know, outstate or further out or a different state even, you know, collaborating online once we get those capabilities onto the website is going to be a super cool resource. Okay, so, oh goodness. The landscape of parenting, it changes constantly. And depending on age of your kids, it could be like moment by moment. How do you feel that this organization is going to stay up to date with the evolving needs of parents?
I mean, I feel there's a lot of factors in this.
Yeah.
I mean, we could say right away, as you stated too, with me in research. I think that would be a huge one right off the bat. But also kind of like I just touched on too, with different events and different spaces that we're in, we're constantly talking to people that share these values, and that I mean, even with some of these allies as well, we're in touch with people, you know, daily, weekly, monthly, and are learning of different things that are coming up and changing, and just different news and information out there that's gonna help us stay current with what's going on. So I mean, outside of even just having us just being able to really rely on those allies and continue to gain information and knowledge from them, as you know, they're going to be the my words are escaping me right now.
Like sources.
Yeah, but I mean, like the expert, we'll say. The expert in their field. So they're going to be continuously, even more so than us, on top of what's going on in, say, you know, education, and even deeper, you know, homeschool. I mean, you can continuously break it down. And I think that's what's going to give us the ability to stay on top of things, is just, you know, getting the actual experts all the way down to the very pinpoint of what you're looking, what, you know, group you're looking in, whether it's education or health or faith, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. You nailed it. Like, having those experts is going to be key, because we can't be knowledgeable in all of it at all times. And honestly, that is the point of this organization, because no parent can be.
No.
So let's find a source that will give us all of it. And then it's the source's job, right, to continue to keep those relationships open with the experts, the different allies, the different people in those areas that they know about, that God gifted them. Hey, you're going to be really good at healthcare, while Sally Sue over here, you're going to be really good at education. And let's tap into those sources to make sure parents have things like that at their fingertips, at their access.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so can you tell, and you kind of already, talked a little bit about the collaboration events, things like that. Can you tell us about any upcoming events or workshops that you are working on at United Parenting Coalition?
Yeah, so, and we we put this list together at the beginning of the week, so we missed one of these events was this morning.
Yep.
At the Washington County Republicans, but just kind of give you an idea of the events and places that we'll be kind of launching and really speaking about the UPC at in the near future. But next up would be September 14th, would be Guys, Gals, and Growlers. That's going to just be a really informal event at Third Act Brewery in Woodbury. So come out and have a beer, have a seltzer, or they also have
sodas,
Minnesota crafted sodas, as well as pizza, wings, some kind of bar food, but I mean it's quality bar food. Come up there and chat with us. Also, would be a little bit of a political event there, too. I mean, learning about what's kind of going on. I would say right now it's going to be more school board candidates.
Yeah.
Which is really important right now. So if you've had any interest about that, it'd be another opportunity to not only learn about us, but also some of the school board candidates currently. The next one up would be September 26th. And that's going to be at our SD47 BPOU meeting. That'll be kind of our official launch and presentation. That's our home BPOU. I'm currently the vice chair of that BPOU. So would love to see you out there. Not only, I'm going to put a selfish plug in here for the BPOU, not only for the launch of our UPC, but also for the BPOU meeting, because we do need to get more people involved in that arena as well.
We do.
So if that's something you've pondered, that would also be a great event to check out. It is at the Wild Boar in Oakdale at 7 o'clock on September 26th. I should say Gals and Growlers is also at 5, I want to say. 5 p.m.
5 to 8.
5 to 8 at Third Act on the 14th. So, sorry, kind of went back and forth there. But two great events to, meet some new people in the community and also learn about what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we chose the BPOU. BPOU, Basic Political Organization Unit. And I might have just screwed that up a little bit, but that's basically what it means. So it's your local Republican meeting, right? And I've plugged those before. I've talked about them on here before. And we chose that one, not only because that's mine and Mike's home BPOU, but currently right now, our 2 board members are also from that BPOU. So we chose that one because it's near and dear to our heart, and no better place we feel to do our first presentation of the UPC than the space that really got Mike and I feeling welcomed, feeling like we weren't the only people with these values. Awesome. So a couple events coming up, and I'm sure more to come because I've already been having several conversations, so we will have more to come. And if this is something that you are like, okay, this sounds cool, I want to hear more, or I want my friends to hear about this too, reach out to us. You'll find our email in the show notes down below, or our information. Reach out to us and let's get something on the calendar. So either myself, Mike, both of us, board members, something. We'll make sure we get people to your event talking about this. So, because end of the day, we just want to get information to parents so they can do their job and do it as well as they possibly can. Okay, so one thing, Mike, that you have mentioned multiple times, and I probably should have plugged this question earlier, but no better time, right? You mentioned, values, beliefs, and you mentioned faith and how important faith is in this mission as well. Talk a little bit about the values and the beliefs and how faith is going to play a role in your organization's work and how it really is going to resonate with the values.
Yes, I mean, you look at the, kind of the different areas that we are really focusing on. But I mean, you look at, education, protecting public safety, small, better government, economic prosperity, obviously pro-life, being faith-based, constitutional principles, equality, and parental rights. I mean, a lot of these items do have, especially in the way that we look at them, a lot of faith built in. We can look at, especially equality even. I mean, we value and believe every person has a story, and we all have different backgrounds and life experiences. And we can embrace and learn from each other, but we know that we can't all achieve the same outcomes. And so we are committed into treating each individual in a fair and respectful manner.
Amen. So, summing it up, right? So, when we created this organization, Mike and I were like, okay, number one, God. He is all. Like, truth be told, this wouldn't be happening. Like, this idea literally hit us like a ton of bricks. And there's call me crazy. There's no other way than saying, like, this straight up came from God. And, like, I'll own it that, like, I was literally walking out of my closet and it was like a thought that smacked me in the back of the head, because apparently that's how he has to communicate with me, because otherwise I just keep going and I'm busy all the freaking time, apparently. So it's like a thought that literally stopped me in my tracks. And as Mike was talking about earlier, right? This whole thing started with the convention. An idea of a convention for parents hit me. I sat down and started typing a business plan about a parenting convention. And this whole idea spurred from there. God, this is God's movement. Like, he knows parents need things. He knows they need the tools. So we want to make sure that God is at the center of this at all times. But in addition to that, not only important to Mike and myself, but also important to Jamie and Kim. When we sat down the first few times, it was like, no, we need solid values and beliefs that this is based on. Values and beliefs that we can all sit down and be like, this is where we agree. These are the things we find important for our families. Education, making sure that we are providing our kids with the best possible education they can receive, no matter what that looks like. Whether you're doing it in a homeschool setting, a public school setting, education is the freaking key to success. Protecting public safety. We need safe societies, period. We're seeing what's happening nationwide right now when that's not being honored. And it's scary. And it's scary to think about, if we don't stand up for that, what will happen in the future. Smaller and better government. You would have asked me this 7 years ago, and I probably would have been like, sure, yeah, I guess that sounds good. Through COVID, through this last administration that we are praying changes.
All the things that have happened in the last Minnesota legislative session.
Oh, goodness.
And what's going to come down the pipeline in the next one.
Yeah.
I mean,
government has its purpose. That's why we were created with one, right? But we need to make sure that their powers are not limitless. Smaller and government that's better, more efficient, doing its job. That's all we want. So people have the freedom that they deserve and that they are given as a right.
Well, and so we can parent our children.
Yeah.
Governments are not the parents. We are.
Amen. Economic prosperity. We believe that everybody has the right to work hard and create the future and the life that they deserve and they want. Pro-life. No deeper explanation needs to happen. We believe in being pro-life as an organization. Constitutional principles. We believe in the Constitution. Not hard to understand. At least for people that are listening and like, oh yeah, we jive with you. Yeah, you get it. Right now, trying to battle that sometimes in society, I mean, goodness gracious, look at, was it New Mexico? It just literally stripped some constitutional amendments away from people. Second Amendment I think she did for 30 days. What? They can just pull our rights, right? No, we believe in the freaking Constitution. Equality, Mike already kind of dove into that. We just really want to make sure that every single person is treated fairly and respectfully. Period. And end of the day, all of this, sum it up, parental rights. God gifted you those babies because he trusted you with those babies. It is your job to do your damnedest to raise them well. And we want to make sure that we are giving you the resources and the tools and the knowledge so you can do that. And we want to make sure the rights that you have to do that are respected and honored. All right. I'm going to step off my soapbox now. I'm like over here like pounding in my hand as I'm talking. Getting very hot. Stop laughing at me. Okay. Final question for my honey. How can individuals and parents get involved, support, or contribute to United Parenting Coalition's mission?
So, like we kind of talked about too, we're just getting up and running. So the website's not completely where we want it to be as far as, being able to get on there and have discussions and chat with some other people as of yet. But certainly coming out and checking out some of these events right away would be one helpful item. Another would be visiting the website. We are going to be looking for volunteers down the road. This is a nonprofit, so we are, looking for donations to help build the website stronger, start prepping to do a convention and some other workshops and other items as well. So, that could be another volunteer opportunity for people. But also, too, if, you're kind of, just want to really see what's going on and maybe support from afar right away. We do have our Instagram, we have our, it's not Twitter anymore, it's X.
So stupid.
Pages that you can visit and follow along and, comment on or just, see what's going on. But I think, right away it's all going to come down to that website and, going on there, seeing what the allies are, seeing what that looks like, is going to be huge.
Absolutely. I lost my voice there for a moment. So I will make sure in the show notes that I plug in our different information. So our website, our Instagram handle, our Twitter. We're just going to stick with Twitter. Our Twitter handle, our dates for our different events we have coming up. If this is something you are like, this is awesome, or I want to learn more, please reach out. We would love to, whether it's, additional speaking events that we could pop into and connect with people, sharing this information out there, or we're definitely going to be looking for more volunteers. The convention is already something in the works. I have, Mike and I have sat down with two really awesome individuals, A.K. Kamara and Kelly Johnner Byrne are both going to have their heads in helping on the convention. It's spaces that they're both going to flourish in and be amazing at. And we were like, when it comes to these types of things, we want to make sure we're putting the right people in the right spaces. Those are actually two individuals that are going to be helping with several things, it sounds like, within this organization, but the convention being a huge one. And if that's something that you're like, I want to help, or hey, we have a resource that would be really good for your convention, reach out. We're in the growing stages and we want to equip parents the best we can. So,
yeah. And with that too, I kind of forgot to mention, maybe you go on the website and look around through some of the allies and you're like, you know what, this is a resource that we've looked at in the past and we really feel like it would belong on this website. We would love suggestions if you want to email us or just send us a message with whatever that ally is. We go through and we vet them as a board and make sure that they meet our values before we put them on the website. But we're always looking to add allies too, so that would be another great way to get involved.
Yeah, and make sure you're checking the website, I'd say at least once a week, because our protocols are we're going to be adding new allies to the website every single week. So those lists will continue to grow. Right now, we launched 2 days ago, so there's, a decent handful, but those lists are going to be growing every single week. All right. You said in the beginning, circle back, final blurb. Any final thoughts, bow on the top of the package for you?
Yeah, I think this is, I'm super excited about this. I think this is going to be a really great resource for parents, and especially busy parents, or parents that are finally kind of seeing things differently. I think that would be a big thing right now, where a lot of people were just kind of the norm and going with the flow, and I think that's starting to change, but I think a lot of people that are starting to make that change are confused, or don't have the information to really make take those next steps and make decisions. So great place just to find all the information that's out there for those of you, even like I said, moderately conservative or faith-based. Mm-hmm. And just have it all housed in one site, so you can quickly, find that information that will help you make those decisions for your family. And, I think, too, the convention is going to be, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be an amazing event.
Yeah.
Hopefully kind of like Q2 of next year, I think, is the goal for that. So not too far off. It's just another thing to keep an eye out for. I think this is going to be super helpful for a lot of people. I know that was a big stressor for us, is just trying to find all this information. And we've been doing and researching this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
To even get a lot of these allies in place. So definitely take a lot of people's plates to get that information.
Right. Simplifying. Awesome. Well, huge thank you to you, number one, for being willing to add another thing to our plate. But at the same time, working with me and both of us, praying together, trusting God, following our footsteps, one right after another, together, very much in step with each other on this journey. Because with this, you have to do that, period, as husband and wife. But now we're adding this in, and it's like, no, we need to be reading each other's minds at some moments, almost like sitting across from each other at the table, like, oh, what are you doing over on your computer right now? Oh yeah, okay, then I'll do this, really working together. So super appreciative of a husband that is willing to not only life with me, but do adventures like this. So parents, biggest thing, right, we need to remember is we are like superheroes in the eyes of our kids. Maybe not like when they're 15, 16, right? Then we're like the dumbest people temporarily. But God gifted us these babies. And it's our job to do our absolute best to lead them toward the path He created for them. And most importantly, we need to remember we don't need to do it alone. Like Mike said, right? There's people out there that get it. The United Parenting Coalition is proof of that. So please, if today's message got you excited, we would love for you to jump on board, volunteer, donate. Let's build stronger families together. Your support is going to make all the difference. So check out the show notes, catch all that information, and let's get in contact. To each of you, stay strong. Remember, you are wrapped in God's armor each and every day. And I'm excited to catch you in the next rambling. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dicks. Remember, if you are battling an addiction, reach out for help and support. There are many resources available to assist in your journey towards recovery. Surround yourself with a supportive community and never give up on the path towards a healthier and happier life. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and joining me on this journey. As you heard, I'm always rambling. But seriously, thank you for your support and make sure to subscribe and follow my channel. I can't wait to share more with you on the next episode. Until then, keep on rambling. If you have found this podcast helpful and want to dive deeper into personal growth and self-improvement, be sure to head over to my website, jennadicks.com. You'll find a wealth of resources there. There is a little less drugs, sex, and rock and roll these days, but whether you're interested in getting healthy, information on momming or parenting, or politics, jennadicks.com has something for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Head to jennadicks.com today and start your journey towards personal growth and self-awareness. See you there.